everybody? Welcome to socaldramtram. I'm Matt.
And I'm Caesar.
And today, before we get into this bottle, we just want to say if you're new here, be sure you hit that subscribe button before you take off. But thanks for coming by. And if you're a return viewer, hey, we appreciate you sticking around. Nonetheless, everybody hit that little bell. That way you know whenever we drop a brand new video. Caesar, what do we got on this bar today?
Today, we got something from my bar, brother. We got the Blantons single barrel bourbon.
Giddy up.
So guys, today we got here the Blantons, the holy hand grenade, coming in at 46% alcohol.
Holy hand grenades, right?
This is something I've actually had in my bar for a while now,
Yeah.
and it's, I mean, I'm barely halfway through the bottle, but that's also because I'm taking very good care of it. It's some good stuff. This Blanton is claimed to be the world's first single barrel bourbon, but you know, don't they all claim that?
100%. I think I've got like 4 bottles back here that say we're the first.
So Blanton actually has some beautiful pageantry, you know, from the glass to the collectible cork tops where that end up spelling Blanton if you buy enough of them. But to be honest, one like really interesting thing I read about Blanton was there's something called Warehouse H, right? Warehouse H is a warehouse where in the Blanton distillery, this exclusively holds Blanton barrels. So in this warehouse, there's nothing but Blanton barrels. And the background story with this Warehouse H is that I think his name is Colonel Albert Bacon Blanton. I mean, who wouldn't want their name to be Bacon, right? Who wouldn't want anything to be Bacon? So Colonel Albert Bacon Blanton in 1933, they had a lot more demand than they actually had stock. So besides their actual distillery, Colonel Blanton was like, all right, we have to make another warehouse. It's made out of, you know, thin sheet metal outside so we can store the extra barrels because there's so much demand. Over the years, Colonel Blanton found out that, wow, since this warehouse is made out of thin metal, it's closer to the outside temperatures than it is on the inside. So it's susceptible to the extreme temperatures, therefore aging the whiskey a lot better. Lo and behold, to this day, now only exclusive Blanton barrels are stored there because of the process it goes through while aging in that shed. So Warehouse H is exclusively known to hold Blanton barrels, which is actually pretty cool, pretty
Warehouse
interesting.
H for we only have Blantons here. Yeah, I mean, you kind of said it, right? I like that you were talking about the pageantry with it. It's got the hand grenade bottle.
Yep.
It's got the, you know,
Horse
bronzer,
jockey,
you know, whatever the case. Yeah, it's got the horse jockey on top. It can spell out Blantons. Everybody goes nuts for this bottle. Everybody goes crazy for Blantons, right? Everybody wants their tiny horses. If you know who that is, you know. Everybody wants their tiny horses, and I would have to agree with the person who coined tiny horses. Be nicer to your liquor store owners. If they don't have something, chances are they don't have something. We work retail. It's not like we enjoy keeping something in the back. But nonetheless, the point is, I would say that if there's ever a bottle of whiskey out there that has done just a master stroke of a job when it comes to marketing, it's Blanton's for sure. Because people go crazy for it, and they pay hundreds of dollars just for a bottle that is what, $60?
Yeah, 60.
I think it was $60, right? So I mean, $60. It's 43 or 46% ABV. You said
40
it is 46%. So, I mean, without any further ado, we talked about how it looks. Let's get into it.
Yes.
You've had it for a while. I've had Blantons before. The first time I ever had it was actually from this bottle. I've since acquired 2 bottles. Again, it's not that hard to find, folks. Don't spend a lot of money for it. Yeah, you're going to say something.
Oh, yeah. Really quick before we get into it. Besides, shout out, thank you to my boy Kyle at work. He's the one
My boy Kyle, too. I got the same bottle.
he located this for me. And it's actually destiny, folks. How I got this bottle is actually destiny. I totally forgot about the story until now. It's funny. So Kyle, my buddy Kyle at work said, you know, he goes to Rouse and every once in a while he'll find a Blanton's for $60. And I'm like, wow, are you serious? He's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm like, hey, next time you find it, I mean, I know it's, you know, it's a rarity. You rarely find it, but whenever you do see it, just get another one for me, please. He's like, all right, cool, no problem. Lo and behold, I kid you guys not, the exact next day, he hits me up that he found one. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. But he's like, no, that's not all. He's like, the way he found it is he walked into Rouse, first went to the liquor section to see if there was one because I told him I wanted one. He didn't find one. He's like, oh, you know, all right, next time. So he went and did his shopping with his wife, I believe. And as he was coming back to the registers to ring out, he's like, you know what? I'm going to go by the aisle one more time. As he walks by the aisle, he sees the Ralph's lady with the basket of alcohol that they're putting back. And he sees 2 Blantons in there. He asks her, he's like, hey, is anyone taking those? She's like, no, she's about to stock them. He's like, I'll take those 2. So he buys 2 Blantons for $60 each at Ralph's as they're stocking it. So that's how you know it's destiny, folks. Because literally the next day.
24 hours.
That happened, yeah. and the way it happened, it's like, oh, I'm going to go give it one more shot. So thank you, Kyle. Thank you for giving it one more shot.
Thank you, Kyle, for doing the hard work at our job. You always do.
Exactly.
Yeah, so let's get into it. You told the story. I've definitely told some stories. So we're about 7 minutes in. Let's get into it before we even, get everybody just be like, I'm out of here. So on the nose, super brown sugar for sure. Little ethanol-y, not like so ethanol-y where it's like, oh my God, this is higher than 46. It's not that. I think it's just that it's oxidized a little bit. Because like you said, you've had it. I mean, this is probably at least a year and a half, cruising up to 2 years old at this point that you've had this. So I mean, it's been a minute since you opened it. But like when you sip it, it's easy sipping, folks. Like there's a big reason why people call this the smooth whiskey. And again, trigger word smooth. But it's partly to do with the fact that it is such a low ABV. I mean, 46%, you think, oh, well, it's not, bottom of the barrel. No, but it is an approachable whiskey. For sure, right? A lot of people are after this because they're like, man, it's just the smoothest thing I've ever had. And again, that's totally fine. Definitely, like I said, on the nose, brown sugar bomb, but I also get a little bit of fruit, specifically some apple out of it. What do you get?
Interesting. I get a vanilla aroma out of it.
I get vanilla. You said vanilla rum?
Vanilla aroma.
Oh, I was like, you get vanilla rum? I don't get any of that.
Yeah, no, I get some vanilla aroma, and that besides the ethanoliness, to be honest,
I'll give you the vanilla for sure.
I'm surprised the ethanoliness is still around too, because having this for a while, it's still it's still pretty spiky. So that it's been holding that spikiness from the beginning. So it looks like this liquor, no matter how much it goes down, that smell it's always going to be there.
Yeah,
I didn't even try it yet.
Yeah, you were telling your story, so I sipped it. I cheated. Again, brown sugar, vanilla, a little bit of caramel, a little bit of cherry. Nothing that's off-putting by any stretch of the imagination. This is a very pleasant, easy drinking bourbon. There's nothing that jumps out of the glass that's any different from any other bourbon I've had, maybe, except for that apple on the nose. Like the apple on the nose, I don't tend to get apple in a lot of whiskeys like some people do, but I definitely do get a little bit on the nose on this one. I have to try mine to see, because again, original single barrel, to see if I get that off of my particular bottling. However, I do like that on the nose, but it doesn't translate to the palate. What are you getting?
So, folks, when I first bought Blantons, when I was first all hyped about it, like I was a hype boy. I was hype boy. I was asking, yeah, for sure. I was hype boy about Blanton. I was like, I want Blanton. It looks cool. This and that. I see it all over the place. I want to get it. I want to get it. I want to get it. I want to get it.
John Wick drinks it.
So I wanted to get it because I thought it was gonna be like more traditional sweet bourbon, right? But when I got it, expecting so much sweetness, to be honest, folks, this is a little more spice than it is sweet. And it's not like, bad spice. It's actually pretty good. It's good quality stuff. But it's not packing that overwhelming sweetness that I actually expected from it. So I don't know if this goes for you guys out there that are expecting it to be sweet. Don't go into this if you've never tried it expecting it to be like a sweet bomb. Definitely not. This is definitely a more sophisticated, rich, well-rounded liquor that you're drinking, whiskey, and it's actually really good. I like it a lot. I think it's very worth that $60, but I don't think it's nowhere near worth the $120 that the resale value is.
It's priced pretty accurately.
Yeah.
I mean, given that the bourbon market and really just brown spirits in general are just skyrocket right now.
Uh-huh.
I would love to see this price at like $45 because I think that's definitely a huge bang for your buck with it. But $60 I could swallow.
Yeah.
So for anybody curious, this bourbon whiskey dumped on November 21st of 2019, stored in Warehouse H for Have Blantons here. And this is from barrel number 51, Rick number 56, and this is individually selected, filtered, and bottled by hand at 93 proof, 46%. And this is bottle number 265. God, that's a lot of math.
For all you hunters
but
out
for
there.
Anybody who's curious, there may be somebody out there who has this specific bottle, and they're like, "Ooh, that's mine." I will say I put 3 drops of water in it. That's pretty much my standard with any sort of whiskey, unless it's above 50%. It killed it.
Yeah?
Yeah, it lost anything that I found to be somewhat complex. Again, not that it's gotten offensively bad or anything like that. It just didn't do anything for it, and it kind of just watered it down.
Yeah, I was gonna say it kind of tastes like water now.
Yeah,
just
I could chug this.
Yeah, but then again, also, folks, I think the big factor with that one is it sitting for 2 years. But it's funny because at the forefront smell, the ethanol, it's like, all right, this thing hasn't aged at all. But when you put like a drop or two of water, it's like whoop, right away, like instant, like here to here.
It just kind of falls off a cliff.
Yeah.
Like I guess I get a little bit, maybe like a little bit of the corn note. You know what I mean? But I'm reaching for it. Like it's definitely like I'm getting there because I know that corn is in the mash bill, rather than like hey, I taste cream corn or popcorn. It's like if I can put my finger on it and hone in on it, yes, I'm getting it right.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I definitely need on this one for sure. Not much of a finish without water and no finish with water. However, again, price that you paid $60, price that I paid $60, I would say perfectly priced. Like I said, give or take, I would say $45 would be perfectly priced, but brown spirits are up. $60, 46%. You got a hell of a marketing project here. I'm going 2.5. I think 2.5 is probably, I would be leaning towards a 3 if the water didn't hurt it so much. But I think 2.5 is a reasonable rating. I think it's, cruising right towards middle of the road. If I never put water on it again, it's a 3. But since I had to put water on it for the sake of a review, it's a 2.5 for me. What do you got?
So for Mr. Bacon Blanton, when I drink you, I feel like I'm in the Hamptons, praising the whiskey like I am chanting, and that's enough said. I'll stop all this ranting. So with that being said, I actually liked it. It was a little above par for me, but a little above par for it being 60, but well below for it being 120. Yeah. So since I bought it at 60, I'll give it a 3.5.
Oh, okay.
I'll give it a 3.5.
Again, this is why tastes are subjective, right? Yep. Yeah, well, if you got nothing else you want to add on the bottle, do us a favor, folks. Hit us up down in the comments. Have you had Blantons, the original single barrel? Have you had the golden version of this Blantons? Have you had the straight from the barrel? Because there's a couple different offerings, and I know I would really like to try this at a higher proof.
Me too.
I'd love to see what it has to offer, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. So let us know what we think down in the comments below. Also, hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We love interacting with you guys there. I got nothing else on this bottle. You got anything else you want to add?
Nah, what about you, brother?
Stay safe, drink well, folks. All aboard. Catch you next time. Hey, everybody. Hope you liked that video.
Don't forget to hit that bell for notifications.
And don't forget to subscribe.